Let's say you are brand new to guitar and you have your guitar and your amplifier, but you are wanting to get started on your metal guitarist journey, but you just don't know exactly what techniques to study and to practice to get you on your way. Well, today we're going to be checking out the 5 most important techniques for all beginner metal guitarists. Let's get into it. Before we begin and get into the different techniques for beginner metal guitarists, I want to let you guys know that this guitar right here is in D standard tuning, so if you are wanting to follow along with me on this video, make sure that your guitar is in D standard. And I'll start on the lowest note just to show you the whole tuning. So the lowest note is a D, then it is a G, then a C, an F, an A, and a D. The first technique that we are checking out today is power chords, and I love power chords because it doesn't matter where you are on the fretboard, the positioning for your fingers is going to be the exact same, making it extremely convenient. And every single metal band that is out there right now will have some sort of power chords in their songs, making this a great technique to learn for beginners. There are going to be 2 different ways on how to do your power chords. So the first way is going to be your root note and a 5th. And the 5th is basically the 5th note in the scale from your root. So let's go ahead and choose a root. I'm going to go ahead and go on the 5th fret on the lowest string. So this is our root. And then let's find the 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is our 5th right here. And then if we play both of those together, we get a power chord. Pretty easy stuff, right? And you can do this anywhere, so you can go just crazy with it. And it sounds good. You can do it anywhere, and the finger positioning is going to be the exact same. That is one of the reasons I really like power chords. The second way of doing power chords is doing the root, the 5th, and adding an extra note being an octave of the root. So an octave is going to be the 8th note in the scale. So let's find the octave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is our octave, and if I play the root note and the octave together, they're going to be the exact same, just different pitches. Perfect. So it looks like that is on the 7th fret on the 3rd string up from the lowest. So if we play all 3 of these notes together, the root, the 5th, and the octave, we will get a massive power chord. Yeah, so I really like to add that extra octave onto my power chords because A, it makes it sound even bigger and even more full, and B, it adds a lot more tonal clarity on the root note of your power chord. Let's say that you want to do a power chord on the next string up from the lowest string, being the G string in our case, but you don't want that low D string to ring out while you're playing, causing this sound. Yeah, it's not very pretty. So what I will do to mute that lowest string, just to make sure that I do not let that ring out, is I will take my index finger, and when I go in for the root note, I will push down on it, and I will lightly push my index finger up against that lowest string. So you will get this instead of this. And one last thing on power chords, if you are wanting to do a power chord for that low open D string, the positioning for your fingers is going to be just very, very slightly different. So since it is the open string, you don't have to push down on the root note. It's just already there when you play it open. So let's go ahead and find the 5th and the octave. So there is your 5th, and then the octave is right below it on that same fret. And then you will get this when you strum it out. Pretty straightforward stuff. The next technique that we are going to be learning today is palm mutes. And palm mutes, just like power chords, you're going to see them in just about every single metal song that is going to be out there. And they will allow you to play stuff like this. And like this. it just adds a whole new layer of dynamics to your playing. So how you want to approach palm mutes is you want to find the bridge on your guitar, which is this piece right down here at the bottom on the body, and there are some saddles with your strings that are being run through it. You want to find where your strings come out of the saddles and just lay your hand down flat like this, and then just kind of pivot your hand a little bit so that you can pluck the strings. And there are your palm mutes. I'll go ahead and show you again. So find the saddles, find where the strings are coming out of the saddles, and just lay your hand down flat. Don't add too much tension at this point because you do run the risk of adding too much tension onto the strings, making them go sharp and slightly out of tune. So just kind of gently lay your hand down, just kind of anchor it right there, and then pivot your hand, and you can pluck the strings. One thing to keep in mind when you are doing your palm mutes is the further up your hand is towards the pickups, the tighter of a palm mute you're going to have, and the further back on the bridge your hand is, the looser of a palm mute that you're going to have. So I'm going to go ahead and just demonstrate this for you guys. So I'm going to start really choked up towards the pickups, and I'm going to gradually move my hand back on the bridge and show you guys the difference in the different palm mutes. So here we go. It is quite a difference, and I'll go ahead and show it to you guys again. Yeah, it is crazy on just how little of a hand movement can make a massive difference in your palm mutes. So typically I like mine choked up just a little bit, not too tight to where it takes away the tonality of the notes and to where I can't really ring out any notes, but tight enough to where it just sounds really nice and rhythmic, something kind of like this. Yeah, I absolutely love palm mutes. The third technique that we're going to be learning today is pinch harmonics. So I'm sure that you've been listening to music and you hear the guitars just do this wild squealy thing that sounds like this. Well, that is a pinch harmonic, and that is a harmonic upon the plucked note, being this. And all it is really just a flick of the wrist, and that is it. So how I approach pinch harmonics is I will pluck the note, and I will kind of roll out of it, just grazing the side of my thumb on that plucked note, creating the pinch harmonic. And I aim for somewhere right in between the tip of my thumb and that first knuckle to be the grazing part, and it just seems to work out really well for me. I just kind of roll out of it and graze the side of my thumb, and once you get it, you can do it on every single fret and every single string. And it's just a really nice kind of zesty piece that you can add to your playing, and something that you don't want to do all the time, but every once in a while people are going to hear that and going to go, whoa, it's so cool. The next technique that we're going to be learning today is down picking and alternate picking. So both of these are extremely self-explanatory. Down picking is a downwards motion the entire time as you're picking, something kind of like this. And then alternate picking is going to be a down-up motion as you are picking, something like this. And even though both of these techniques are very straightforward, it's good to know on when to use them, because you're going to be using both of these, down picking and alternate picking, in every song that you do. So down picking I find works really well for parts that you really want to dig in and get super heavy, something kind of like this. And alternate picking is going to work really well for pieces that are a little bit faster and pieces to where you don't quite have to dig into the strings as much, something kind of like this. A great exercise to work on your down picking will be just on the lower D string, just open, no fretted notes or anything. It'll be the first note being open, and the next 3 notes will be palm muted, and you will just repeat that and set a metronome just to keep you on time, and you can speed up the metronome once you get comfortable, and it'll sound something kind of like this. And then a great exercise for your alternate picking method will be kind of the same idea as with the down picking exercise, except with alternate picking. And it'll be the first note open, and then the next 7 notes will be palm muted. So it'll sound something kind of like this. And then as you start to get a little bit more proficient at that, you can kind of start changing up where the open note is going to be, and you can get into something kind of similar to this. As straightforward as down picking and alternate picking is, make sure to really practice that, because that is the main way for you to add a ton of dynamics into your playing. The final technique that we're going to be working on today is hammer-ons and pull-offs. So I find that this one is really good to get early on, because some more advanced techniques are definitely going to be using hammer-ons and pull-offs. So basically what a hammer-on is you choose a note, you pluck it, and then you tap with your left hand. You don't repick the note, you just want to kind of tap that next note on whatever fret you need to go to. So I'm just going on the next fret up. I'm on the 12th fret right now, and you pluck the 12th and hammer on onto the 13th. And a pull-off is going to be the exact opposite thing from a hammer-on. So instead of tapping onto a fret, I'm going to be pulling away, letting the fret below ring out. So right now I am on the 13th fret, and I'm going to pluck it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and pull away while also plucking that string just to get the fret that I have fingered right down below. And something kind of like this. A really great exercise that you can do for hammer-ons is going to be on the 12th fret, where you pluck the 12th fret and then you hammer on the 13th with your middle finger. Then pluck the 12th fret, hammer on the 14th with your ring finger, pluck the 12th fret and hammer on the 15th with your pinky finger, and just kind of repeat that. So it'll be something kind of like this. And it's really great that we're using all of the different fingers on this exercise, because in the future with more advanced techniques, you're not really sure which fingers you're going to have to use, so it's really good to get proficient with all of them. So make sure that you are using all 4 of your fingers, your index, your middle, your ring, and your pinky. And as soon as you get really proficient at the hammer-on exercise that I just showed you, you can start incorporating in pull-offs, something kind of like this. And then as soon as you get that under your belt, then you can move on to this exercise, which is a hammer-on pull-off, but it moves around the fretboard like this. And make sure to set your metronome when you are doing these exercises, and it doesn't matter what speed you're going, go for the speed that works best for you. And those are the 5 best techniques that I recommend for anyone that is just starting to play metal guitar. I really hope that this helps you out. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let me know down in the comments below. If you are enjoying my video in any way, shape, or form, please consider hitting that subscribe button and that like button. It helps me out a ton here on the channel. And with that being said, my name is Chris with High Impact Audio, and I will see you guys next time.